For many voters, the European elections are mainly a way to express their anger at Brussels. The right-wing eurosceptics are bound to benefit the most. The leader of France's Front National, Marine Le Pen, and the Dutch leader of the Freedom Party, Geert Wilders, are topping the polls in their countries. They say they want to form a joint alliance in the European Parliament. We asked voters here in the Netherlands and in France for their views on the EU. Hénin-Beaumont is a small, sleepy town in the former French coal belt. Its moment of fame came when Marine Le Pen's Front National won the local elections here in March in the first round. But now nobody wants to talk about party politics anymore. They say the media always label them as racist. Yet asked locals what they think of Brussels and the EU, and their tongues start to wag. Europe imposes itself on us. I see it as a backward step in social terms for workers. Lots of promises, no changes. We've always lived quietly here. There was no stress, no additional taxes of any kind. How do you want to live if we close all the borders? We'd live on what? Love and fresh air? Many local people used to work in the coal mines. They've now all closed down. The mines are museums, and France's mining basin is on the UNESCO World Heritage List. The Communist Party once dominated here, but no one's at home when Euronews stops by its offices. Deputy Mayor Laurent Brice of the Front National says many former communists have joined his party. Brussels was meant to provide security. It was meant to bring jobs. There should be peace, but we've seen conflict everywhere in Europe. That's what Brussels represents in the eyes of our citizens today. In the Netherlands, Geert Wilders' Freedom Party doesn't control a single municipality, but here in Volendam they nearly got half of the vote at the last European elections. This small city north of Amsterdam is known for eel fishing, but for years now stocks have been low. Local fishmongers sell eels from other Dutch regions. Some members of the local business community have set up an eel breeding project, which is backed by EU funds. But others say EU rules are also part of the problem. It's a good thing, this European Water Directive. It aims to make the water as clean as possible. But there's no phosphate left in the water, so there's no plankton and hence no fish. Patrick Schilder is one of the few fishermen who's come up with a new way to stay inside EU regulations on discards. He's developed a special net that sorts all the eels from the other fish, which are then returned back to the sea. But sometimes even he can only shake his head. We as fishermen have massive problems with European directives. I mean specifically the Water Framework Directive and the Bird Habitats Directive. If we observe both of them, there's no place left for us as fishermen. There's more harsh words for the EU in the Praat House, where people have discussed everything and anything for generations. The cafe is where locals chew the fat on the big issues of the day, and politics is often on the menu. Of the 28 countries that are now in the EU, almost 14 shouldn't have entered in the first place, because they're not really European countries. All that money for Greece and Spain, and now Greeks and Spaniards are investing here in the Netherlands.
De banken werden leeggetrokken. Nou investeren de Grieken en de Spanjolen, die investeren in Nederland. Investeren. Wat het kost.
And all that money that the EU costs, so many billions, they can't be lying here in the harbour.
Zoveel miljarden.
To speak about the group Geert Wilders and Marine Le Pen intend to form the European Parliament, we're now joined by Chris Albert, researcher in political communication at Rotterdam University. Chris, Will they be able to wreck the European Union as they announced?
No, they won't. I mean, the only question in the European elections is whether the 4 Europhile parties will get a majority. And I mean, we're even quite sure that the Christian Democrats and the Social Democrats together will have a majority. So the question is, will this new group be able to really change policies? And the answer is just no.
But however, will they be a force to reckon with? Will they be able to impact on policy choices of the European Parliament?
They couldn't make so much noise when they were independent, so you could wonder whether there will be more YouTube videos on them, but that's the main difference, I think. And in terms of policy output, there's none.
But even if they can't do a lot, these people represent frustrations in the population of the Netherlands, France and other countries. Is it a choice just to dismiss them?
Well, in practice they can.
So business as usual?
Well, no one really comes up with good solutions or new perspectives on how to deal with the transfer union, the euro crisis, the fact that so many people are afraid or just mad about the European Union and about the integration process. And I mean, it will probably take years to come up with new ideas on how to solve the legitimacy crisis, how I would call it.